For 15 years, we wandered through Minecraft. We've looted temples, explored ruins, and mapped out seeds, assuming it was all just random world generation. We were wrong. You aren't exploring a random world, you're walking through the graveyard of a massive militarized civilization. And today, we have the map to prove it. Think about the ruined portals. We have always thought they were just broken gates. But if you map out their generation, you'll notice something terrifying. They often point directly toward other major structures. The ancient builders were using the nether as a massive logistical subway system. They were moving too much, too fast. They weren't just exploring, they were fleeing. But moving resources wasn't enough. As the threat of the wither spread, the ancient builders realized they were losing the mainland. They had to protect their borders and deny the enemy any resources, which brings us to the desert. Why would an ancient civilization build grand pyramids only to rig the treasure room with a massive pile of TNT? Because they aren't tombs, they are military supply caches. The pressure plate is a self-destruct mechanism. The builders knew they were losing the war, and they rigged their own supply lines to blow up, so the enemy couldn't take their resources. And while the deserts were rigged to burn, the coastlines were fortified to watch. Look at the ocean monuments. Why are they so heavily guarded by cursed guardians and hold almost no real treasure? It's because they were an early warning system. Built far away from the mainland, these monuments acted as an impenetrable radar perimeter. When the monuments went dark, the builders knew the enemy had crossed the water. The overworld was officially lost. The ocean perimeters fell. The wither reached the mainland. The grand cities were abandoned and the survival meant disappearing entirely. They had to hide in the densest biomes possible. The jungle temples are small, cramped, and littered with tripwires and arrow dispensers. This isn't ancient architecture, it's guerrilla warfare. It is the architecture proof of desperate civilization making their final stand in the mud. But even the jungle canopy wasn't enough. The surface was completely destroyed, so they dug down. The abandoned mineshafts in your Minecraft world are so impossibly massive that they couldn't have just been used for mining coal. They are an interconnected subterranean highway. The builders laid thousands of miles of rail lines to travel across the world, completely undetected by whatever was hunting them above ground. Thousands of miles of subterranean highway, but where were they going? What was the final destination? To answer that, we have to stop looking at the world and start looking at the code. What if I told you the ultimate proof of Minecraft's secret map is actually hard-coded into the game's files? It's true. The strongholds do not spawn randomly. The game mathematically forces them to generate in perfect, concentric rings expanding outward from the center of the world at coordinates 0, 0. This isn't random world generation, it is a calculated, systematic evacuation grid. All roads, all portals, and all rails lead to the end. The map is complete. The ruined portals were the transit lines, the pyramids were the caches, the jungle was the bunker, and mineshaft was the escape route. All of it leading to a calculated, perfect grid of strongholds. You aren't finding these ruins by accident. You are following the exact breadcrumbs of a dead world. They funneled their entire civilization into the end, and they trapped themselves in the void. Thanks for watching. Stay curious.